Well, I believe this is part of a phased drawdown. The embassy has been tasked to reduce its footprint by 50%, so this could accelerate the drawdown. But I don't see this as part of that. This is separate from that activity. I can't comment how the talks are going. I don't have insight into that. From my understanding is that this is a preemptive measure in the event that the talks do not go forward or do proceed any measurable results, and that a potential strike could occur. And this would be a effort to mitigate any potential harm to U.S. personnel in Iraq and in the Middle East. I'm not sure if the United States will directly attack Iran or if Israel will attack Iran with U.S. support. This military operation would be separate from any operations that have been conducted previously, and it would have an impact on the U.S. and personnel in the region. But no one can really claim what that would be, and we don't have any credible threats from within Iraq or within Kurdistan, and the only threats that we've heard from were from the Minister of Defense in Iran. And those provocative statements have been issued before without anything happening. I believe that this announcement and withdrawal will have a dramatic effect on the region, especially within Iraq. It really undermines the relationship between Iran and Iraq by not. And I spoke with individuals within the U.S. Embassy, and I spoke with individuals in the Prime Minister's office, and they had not received any notification. The first time the Prime Minister heard of the withdrawal was from a Reuters article. And that shows the breakdown in communication between the embassy in Iraq and even the embassy in Kurdistan. And that undermines the relationship between Iraq and the United States because the prime minister and the Iraqi government have back channel negotiations and communications with Iran, and they could have mitigated a potential strike by Iran's proxies. So I think it really undermines the credibility of the U.S. relations with countries in the Middle East. I really don't believe it's going to have a huge impact. And the reason why is because the embassy hasn't had a very proactive stance with the Iraqi government. Communications have been limited, and a lot of that is based upon the security protocols in place at the embassy, which really don't facilitate direct communications with the Iraqi government. We should be in dialogue with our host nation and communicating with them very effectively, and that communication hasn't happened, and that really has a negative effect or influence on a lot of policy decisions, not only with Baghdad but also with Kurdistan in Erbil. I would not speculate and say that the U.S. has intentions to, going to war with Iran. I don't believe anybody in the administration wants to go to war with Iran. They understand that they are a formidable enemy and that would have a significant cost in lives and resources, and so nobody wants that. With regard to the implications for Iraq, I mean, everybody knows that Iraq and Iran are not only neighbors geographically, but they have a strong relationship economically and politically. And anytime the U.S. any actions by the U.S. would dramatically impact or affect Iraq, and they have to be mindful of that. How that plays out, I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is that from an American foreign policy perspective, we need to be more aware or cognizant of the impact of our actions on our neighbors and our partners, especially in the Middle East. So there's some positives that can come out of this. I believe number one, if the U.S. And especially the embassy has a better relationship, a more open dialogue and communication with the embassy, that can do a couple things. Number one, empower the Iraq government and the Iraq security forces to provide a more proactive approach to security for the embassy and personnel. Number two, give the Iraqis the opportunity as the host nation to be more proactive in hosting delegations. Right now, the U.S. Takes the lead on that. And really, we should be observing or providing support and assistance and not taking the lead. So there's a couple opportunities, immediately to, kind of solidify or reinforce our relationship with Iraq and Kurdistan and Erbil. by allowing more partnership opportunities and have those engagements play out on a broader front.